So today we're going to be doing the Christmas Ornament Challenge, which is an awesome challenge that's been going on for years in the wood turning world. The idea is that you just make a really fun wooden Christmas ornament, and this year they opened it up to everybody, not just wood turners. I wanted to take the opportunity to make a really fun, interactive, easy tutorial that all of you guys can do for Christmas this year. I have this rough idea in my head, and I hope it doesn't crash and burn, because that would be real unfortunate. So I was thinking about this, and I was like, I want to do this challenge with just one tool. And I decided on the laser cutter because it's actually becoming more and more common for people to have access to laser cutters. So check out your local library, your local makerspace, and see if there's a laser cutter that you can use. And so once I decided on the laser cutter, I thought about this photo my dad had sent me from an art gallery like months ago. And I wanted to take that technique and apply it to this ornament. So I'm going to be making a Christmas tree, and it's going to be overlaid stars. So the first thing I want to do is go into Adobe Illustrator and design this. So we're going to switch over to VoiceOver Zyla and go from there. Hello, it is my disembodied voice, and I'm about to let you in on a little secret of how I design everything, and that is I always start with Google Images. What's the point of designing your own 7-pointed star when you could just steal somebody else's? And it's not stealing necessarily because you're changing the vast majority of it. So I just scroll until I find it, and usually I have a rough idea of what I'm looking for, and then when I see it, I know it. And in this case, it is this. I like the rounded edges. It just seems Christmas tree-like, so I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it, and obviously use Command V or Control V. I am doing this so that you can see it and I'm not leaving you in the dark. And then I'm using my favorite function, which is image trace. And that didn't work, so I'm going to do a 3-color image trace. And sometimes if you have lighter colors like grays, it doesn't work so well. And I expand it, and now it's a vector! And that is so magical and probably like the best way to use Illustrator if you're laser cutting. It's so, so useful. So now I've expanded it, and I went to the white cursor thingy and dragged it away, and then I'm just going to delete the parts that I don't want, and then I am going to delete that inner line so I just get one nice vector, and this is the 7-pointed star that I am looking for. So now I'm going to kill the fill on this shape, and this is the part where you want to change the line to whatever will cause your laser cutter to cut through. So the laser cutter I'm using requires 0.001 line thickness, and it'll cut through. If it's RGB red, do that. I'm now adding rulers because it makes it so much easier when you're doing kind of more artsy projects to just have the rulers up there. And I'm going to go in and adjust this to roughly the size that I want. And this you can eyeball. It's not an exact science. Just do whatever you feel in. For some reason today I wanted my Christmas tree to have a base of 7 inches, so here we go. Base of 7 inches. So now I'm taking this shape and I am copying it and I am pasting it and I am shrinking it. And then I'm going to take this shrunken bit and make it roughly 1 inch, because this is going to be the top of our Christmas tree. This is like the point. So once it's 1 inch, I am dragging it to the center of my shape, and this is when things get really fun. I'm going to introduce you to a brandy new function you've probably never seen in Illustrator, and it is I go into Object, Blend, and Make. I want my rings to be 0.25 around, so I'm going to go back in and to Blend and then hit Blend Options this time. And I'm going to go into Specify Distance. If you want to specify your steps, that's fine, but I'm just going to change that to 0.25. Hit OK, and voila! Magic! So I'm going to copy that, paste it, and then put it somewhere random because I can't make up my mind, and zoom in so that I can get this part right. I'm making it a little smaller so that it stacks nicely, and you'll see this in a second, but just make those 2 lines flush. I'm going to head over to my rectangle tool to make a 1/4 inch square, and that will be, my wood is a 1/4 inch thick, so it'll let me glue a little star in. And then once I have that, I'm going to center it right in the middle of our like contraption that we have here. And then find an empty space, go back to your rectangle tool and make a kind of arbitrary height rectangle that's 0.25 wide, so it'll fit in your little square. Then go to your star tool, which is in the same area as the rectangle tool, and make an arbitrary star. It's up to you. You can make it as big or small as you want. The world is your oyster. Place it on there and highlight it. And then you're going to go into shape modes and click that one. And that'll merge those two objects. You can then put that wherever you darn please, and voila, you are done. Congratulations, my friend. All right, so now that it's been designed, let's laser cut it. Alright, so I just got my pieces out of the laser cutter and they look awesome. I only had to break one of these open, which is a good day because holiday seasons at public makerspaces are really bad for the laser tubes. As I mentioned in the voiceover section, there are two separate stars and I'm going to be overlaying those on top of each other so that we get the height. And one of them is ever so slightly bigger than the other. I'm going to start with the base as my outer ring of number 2. So I'm just going to place that right in the center there. I decided to make 2 spirals of the tree. So instead of taking this one, centering it, and then rotating it ever so slightly, I'm actually going to do this, and this is going to be like the base. And then I'm going to take this one and place it on the original number 2. So basically, the number 2 is just going to rotate, and number 1 is going to rotate, but they're offset from each other by half of each triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and stack it all up, and this is your chance to really figure out how you want your pieces to fit together. If you want 1 spiral, if you want 2 spirals, see what you like, and then you're going to have to take it all apart and to glue it back together. So I'm just going to place my next layer where I want it to be. I'm going to mark where that intersects with the pencil, and then I'll know exactly where to put my glue. Especially once we start offsetting things. Oh, there we go. All right, and now I'm just going to take glue. I'm using CA glue. That's what we had lying around. We'll put some options down in the description below. Any kind of like fast drying wood glue or wood safe glue should be fine. And you'll note I'm doing this on top of a piece of cardstock because I don't trust myself. And now I just place it. And now we're gonna rinse and repeat. So I'm going to go back to stack number 1. So Andrew says I need to do a disclaimer because it's the first time we've used an adhesive on the channel. So he says not to drink it and not to snort it and not to glue your fingers together, and all of which I think may be fairly obvious, but definitely don't do any of the above. And the one that is less obvious is use it in a well-ventilated area or room. Don't do this in your bedroom or you will be high the next morning. If you do get it on your fingers, don't stick your fingers together, but we've all totally done this. I once super glued my fingers together like this during science class in high school, and then I had to go to orchestra, and I had a test in orchestra that day. It was not a good day when you're missing these 2 fingers on your violin hand. But anyway, use nail polish remover to get them apart, and if you're really, really struggling, ask a parent or a friend to help you. Before I glue this last piece on with the star, and I should have drilled the hole before I glued the star, but you know, not everyone's perfect as much as I pretend to be. I'm trying really hard not to drill through the table here. So I taped up the end to make this a little easier to focus, and now I'm just gonna push it through here. Whee! All right. And there we have it, our ornament. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did making this video, because we certainly goofed off a lot more making this one than we usually do. So if you liked the video, please leave a comment, like it, and subscribe. That helps us out so much. You have no idea. I'm bad at ending videos, so we're just gonna... Why is it still on?